What's up, everyone? This is episode 2 of the Sports World Podcast. My name's Nick. I'm here with Jet, Adrian, and Dylan. Big news in the NFL this week. Cam Newton has agreed to a one-year deal with the New England Patriots. I personally think this is a great signing for both Cam and New England. But we're here to get your guys' thoughts on this. So, Jet, you had New England finishing 6-10, putting them 4 games out of the playoffs. Does signing Cam make you kind of second-guess that prediction at all?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, 6-10 is terribly low now that I know what I know. I mean, Jarrett Stidham is the guy who we all kind of thought was going to be the QB, but now all of a sudden we have kind of a 180 here with Cam Newton. I think Cam Newton is really desperate for a comeback season, so I think he's like a perfect fit with the Patriots. I think their defense might lose a step, so they won't be as elite as they were with Brady, but I do think that they're going to be a 9-10 win team.
That's a big improvement from 6-10.
Yeah,
puts them in the playoffs. All right, Adrian. We didn't get a chance to see your Patriots prediction, so we're gonna just listen to that now or hear that now. What do you have them finishing at now that they have added the former MVP?
I agree with Jet because Cam Newton is a huge upgrade off of Jared Stidham. The defense did lose a couple players, and they still don't have a very big supporting cast on offense. But like Jess said, I expect them to be a 9-win team. I can see them sneaking into a wild card, but I still don't see them really winning the division over Buffalo. But I think this is good for Cam. I think this is going to really set him out there, and this one-year deal works out for the Patriots and Cam. It's perfect.
Yeah, this is definitely the most motivated version of Cam Newton we'll ever see right here. I think he's super motivated to do good in New England.
Yeah. All right, Dylan, you were right there with the Jet in the below average range. You said Patriots go 5-11.
I did.
Yep. Now that they have Cam, how many more games do you see New England winning?
So Jet, you think they might go 4-win improvement or 3?
What did I go
3
with?
or 4?
3 to 4. 3 to 4.
Yeah. I think I agree with that. I had them 5-11. I think they can easily win. They can easily now sweep the Jets and possibly win against Arizona or Denver. So I think they'll probably go, I'll say 8-8 against Denver, Jets, and Cardinals. But I mean, I just think that with Cam Newton, when he won his MVP, he didn't have a great supporting cast with weapons. And this year, he doesn't have great supporting weapons. His best receivers probably, I guess, N'Keal Harry for the next year or two. Edelman, okay, but his best deep threat, fine. His best deep threat.
I mean, yeah, I would definitely make the argument that they have a better supporting cast now than he did in his Panthers MVP season.
And they have 2 good receiving backs. I don't really know how Michelle's going to be as a between the tackles guy. He hasn't done all that much, but I think he'll do much better than Jarrett Stidham would have, but not top 5 quarterback level. I think he'll just be a solid guy that can help them win some games.
Yeah, I agree on that. I think Cam is very hungry. He wants to prove himself again, coming off the injury. So yeah, I can also see the Patriots winning about 8, 9, 10 games. All right, Jet, who do you think starts week 1 for New England against Miami?
I don't know. I think everything points towards Cam Newton. I don't really see how this second-year backup 4th-round pick beats out Cam Newton here. I really don't. I think he'll go in super motivated, win the job, and they'll be solid.
Adrian, same question.
Hold on. Hold on. I have my garage open.
All right. Dylan, same question.
I agree. I think Cam Newton's definitely an upgrade over Jarrett Stidham. I think Cam should win the job out of training camp or whatever kind of weird situation we have with the virus going around. But yeah, he should start week 1, and if he doesn't, then they'll lose. So simple as that. Jarrett Stidham's not that great. So.
Yeah, no, I think with all the hype building up and everything, it's going to help with ticket sales, all that.
They kind of
people want to see Cam. They don't want to see Stidham.
The other thing about the other thing about the Cam Newton deal that a lot of people might have missed is that if he doesn't re-sign with the team after this year, whether he does good, does bad, doesn't matter. They get a compensatory 3rd-round pick, which cancels out what they lost for the Spygate stuff. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I never saw
that's
that.
a smart move.
Oh,
I
I
guess.
didn't know that.
All right, Adrian, who starts week 1?
It has to be Cam Newton. I mean, you put Cam Newton next to Jared Stidham. Cam Newton beats him in almost every single category you could think
That's
of.
true.
You know,
Yeah.
he's
Poor
he's
Stidham.
big, he's physical. You know, it's Cam, no debate.
I agree on that. All right, now we're gonna head to our coaches on the hot seat, and Dylan, we're gonna start with you here.
All right, so I kind of picked like an easy target just because some people think he should have been gone like a year or two ago, but that's Doug Marrone of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think he's like a below average coach, and that's probably putting it nicely. Got a bad team. I don't know. They just don't like. They're not like future. They don't have a bright future. They don't have a bright now. They just
They're just
lost
not
Campbell.
good.
That's
Just
one of
lost
the worst rosters
Campbell.
in football right now.
Ngakwe is
agree.
gonna.
And they're
Something.
Ngakwe and Fournette, like they're handling it terribly.
Oh yeah, they're both gonna sit out or something like that. I'm also looking at the offensive line is one of their weakest points. Like D line last year was actually good just because they had Campbell and Ngakwe, Josh Allen. They had some good players, but now that both those big names are probably gonna be gone, with Campbell to the Ravens and Ngakwe to probably just sitting at home not playing.
They're beating.
Jacksonville's
Continue.
O-line is probably the worst part of their team, and they're 27th in run blocking. They're just bottom 5 in every offensive line stat, which is just not good. It's good. It's going to be tough for them to get any type of success in the next year or two, especially with Marrone at head coach. If they can't find a reliable O-line, if they can't find any type of other talent. So I just think that after this coming year, if they disappoint, well, I don't even know if it's disappoint. I think that they're expected to be pretty bad. But if they go if they have a top 3 pick, because I predicted them to go 2-14. If they go somewhere around there, I think Marrone could easily be gone.
Oh yeah,
Marrone is in trouble.
yeah, for sure. All right, Jet, we're gonna go to you now.
All right, yeah. So for my coach on the hot seat, I went with Anthony Lynn of the Los Angeles Chargers. And for me, this is pretty simple. I think they had one of the most stacked rosters in football last year and went 5-11. Like that to me is unacceptable. They lost their Hall of Fame quarterback too. I'm pretty worried about them next year. Like to me, if they don't find success and a positive record, I don't see how he stays much longer.
Yeah, and they lost Melvin Gordon. You know, they have Eckler, but at the same time, Gordon was a key piece of their success in the playoff run that they had. And then
last year, their defense, they had Hayward, King, James. James was injured for part of the year, and then they had Bosa, Ingram, and they just added Linval Joseph and Chris Harris Jr. There's no excuse for this team to not be good, especially just with the defense. Even they have a rookie quarterback, but they still have good weapons on offense and a great defense. No excuse.
Yeah, if they don't go 8-8, they're in trouble.
Yeah,
Lynn is in trouble.
definitely.
All right, Adrian, who'd you pick?
Oh, I picked Matt Nagy of the Chicago Bears. You know, I mean, the future looked bright for the Bears a couple years ago. You know, his first year they won the NFC North, but ever since then it's just been downhill. You know, I think the biggest issue is it has to be quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, he has done it. I think personally he has done a terrible job forming Mitchell Trubisky into a NFL quarterback. I feel like he still hasn't grown to his potential. And I feel like Matt Nagy is part of that problem. But to the outside, that might look like a reason to keep Nagy. But I don't know. Trubisky, he's a lost cause. Nagy's a lost cause. You know, they finished 8-8. I mean, they have Nick Foles, but I don't see the Bears winning many games. You know, they don't have a good run game. They don't have a quarterback. You know, Nick Foles, like, I don't know. He seems like when he gets that starter name, he doesn't really pan out too well, like in Jacksonville. And I don't see anything good for the Bears in the future with Nagy, a head coach. And I think he's gone if they don't make the playoffs this season.
Yeah, most likely.
I think the Bears are a big example of a team that underperformed last year, and their coach actually had a lot to do with it.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the same situation as the Chargers. I mean,
Yeah,
slightly.
I say the
slightly
Cowboys
different,
too.
because just the Bears have such a good defense, and their weapons are okay, and they have no quarterback. Chargers had a quarterback who was okay, had weapons, had a better defense. I think both those are pretty good picks.
For my coach,
Wow.
I went with Matt Patricia. You know, the Lions finished 3-12-1 last season, but they were playing like a really solid football team before all the injuries that they had to deal with. You know, Matt Stafford went down, and I think Patricia was able to kind of hide behind that and use that as an excuse. But he doesn't have this. He doesn't have that this year. He doesn't have anything he can hide behind, assuming Stafford stays healthy. And I think this Lions roster is very capable of winning 8 or 7-8 games with that offense. And if they don't do that, I think Matt Patricia is gone. Yeah.
I definitely agree with that, because they just had a top 3 pick. They have a top, I don't know, I would say top 3 receiver duo in Galladay and Jones, and Trey Flowers is a beast. Yeah, I don't think they can hide behind that Stafford injury.
You mean the pencil in his ear doesn't help?
No, it does
Not as much as he thinks it does.
Now we are going to discuss our biggest sleeper and bust teams. And Adrian, we're going to start with you on this one.
For my sleeper team, I had to go with the Arizona Cardinals. I think they're poised to possibly make playoffs this year. Last year, rookie quarterback Kyler Murray, he led them to 5-10-1, and his stats were pretty good. He rushed for 500 yards. I didn't even know that. He was NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, and last season he was throwing to Larry Fitzgerald. This season you add DeAndre Hopkins. You have a healthy Christian Kirk. I think Kenyon Drake's gonna fit really well. He finished really strong with them. Defense is a problem, but they just added Isaiah Simmons, and last year Patrick Peterson only played 10 games. I think the biggest X factor here is going to be Kyler Murray and that defense, but I do see
I think Isaiah Simmons
rankings
is going to be the best defensive player from this class. That's just what I think. I don't really have any reasoning for now, but
yeah, 100%.
I just think he'll be the best defensive player from that class.
Yeah, I mean, that team definitely has some holes, but I think if they can light up scoreboard on offense, they could be good for sure.
My bust, I have the Houston Texans. They've just been regressing. O-line has been a problem. They can't protect Deshaun Watson. Tennessee's going to be a problem in the division now. They just traded away a top 3 receiver in football. They got a wash. I don't want to say washed running back, because David Johnson might have had just one of those years. Hopefully he can bounce back, but Bill O'Brien, he's torn the team down. I mean, their best free agent signing this year was Bradley Roby, and I don't know. It doesn't look like they're doing much to protect.
Yeah,
Deshaun
I think that was
Watson.
kind of the biggest need. You got to make sure
now.
that O-line improves and Watson is able to, reach his full potential.
Yeah, you got to protect. You
Yeah.
you have to protect a player like Watson. That's
him being a
franchise
GM
quarterback.
is not the formula, man.
He's a good
It's
coach, but
tough.
Watson's
GM
running
is
for
rough.
his life every play. All they got is Tunsil. That's it.
Yeah, he's running like a freaking. He's
Headless
running like
chicken.
a chicken
Yeah.
head cut off.
All right, Jet, we'll go to
Yeah.
you for that next one.
Yeah, so for my sleeper team, it's another team that I think is a problem for the Texans in that division. I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts. I think we can pretty much agree that most people have them at 8 to 9 wins this year.
Yeah.
You think we can agree on that?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and I have them at 9 myself, but I actually consider that a floor for this team. When I think of the Colts, I think of last year on Sunday Night Football when they played against the Chiefs and held them to 13 points and won. I thought that was really impressive. And that same defense is back in 2020 with Phillip Rivers leading the way on offense. And then, they have some pretty stacked receivers and running backs, too. I think they're going to be pretty good this year.
That running back room is gonna be great. With
And
I think Michael Pittman's going to be a great
I
oh,
think
addition.
so,
yeah, I
too.
forgot about that. I forgot about him.
in their running backs, they got Marlon Mack, Wilkins, Naheem Hines, Jonathan Taylor. It's just they have a
Jonathan
lot of running
Taylor.
backs.
And they added
A
DeForest,
lot of quality pieces on the team.
DeForest Buckner on the defense.
They did.
Damn.
And Jack Doyle.
Good pick.
I
So,
mean, Ebron left, but yeah, Jack Doyle, if he's
Yeah.
healthy, he can be solid.
Not too many people are talking about the Colts, but I think they have a real shot at competing in that division.
Yeah, I agree on that one. All right,
Go to
bust.
my bust team, yeah. I went with the Atlanta Falcons. Sorry, Dylan.
All good, all good.
There's just too many things that I'm unsure about with this team. You know, I'm not sure the defense is going to recover from their injury-riddled 2019. I'm not sure Gurley's going to keep his legs intact for more than 10 games. I mean, I'm not sure that Matt Ryan's going to continue to play at a high level. In fact, I'd almost bet that we see some regression out of him this season. And it also doesn't help that their schedule is pretty tough. But yeah, just too many uncertainties. I could be wrong here, but I think the Falcons need too much to go right to have success in 2020.
Everything
Yeah, that
everything
schedule
you
was
said
insane.
was fine, just besides the Matt Ryan thing. Just to remind you, his second year with an offensive coordinator, he won MVP. Just saying.
Yeah, they're one of those teams that could go anywhere from like 5-11 to
11-5.
Yeah. All right, so I'll go next. So for my sleeper team, I went with the Browns. Now I know like right away some people might be like, "Is this dude serious?" But they needed a coaching change and they needed to fix their offensive line. They did both of those things. I believe Baker will improve a lot this offseason, and as he does, Odell will improve with him. They got one of the best tight ends in the NFL in Austin Hooper. They still have Nick Chubb. They still have one of the best pass rushers in Myles Garrett, who is not suspended for any games this season, as he was last season.
Not yet.
Oh yeah, but not yet. But I don't think he will be. And not
He might do
only
something.
not only have they fixed the weak roster spots they have, they are not in the spotlight this season as they were last season. Everyone is watching Baltimore, everyone is watching Pittsburgh, but nobody is watching Cleveland and what they are capable of accomplishing this season.
Yeah, I think those are all pretty good points. I think their offense has a lot to improve on, but I think they're more than capable of doing so. And I also really like their draft. I thought they were a top 3 draft team. Like, they did pretty good.
Their draft was really
Yeah.
good. They addressed the O-line. They addressed the secondary. It was pretty well-rounded.
And adding Austin
And
Hooper.
their free agency signing of Jack Conklin, too. They got 2 new tackles
true.
now, Wills and Conklin.
I
They should set the edges for those two-headed monster at running back.
All right. For my bust team, I went with the Denver Broncos. I believe this team has a lot of potential, or more potential as most teams in the NFL. But I think for right now, they're just a little bit too young. I think Drew Lock still needs to improve on a lot of different things. I think they'll be a great team in the next few years, but not this season.
hey, did you guys know David Tyree's last catch was the helmet?
I did.
I didn't know
I did
that.
know that.
I did know that. Yes.
Adrian's coming out with these facts.
Thanks for letting us know, though. For my sleeper, I picked the Steelers. I'm not sure if a lot of people are sleeping on them necessarily. I just think that they're going to have a much improved season from last year. They went 8-8, I believe, with a combination of Mason Rudolph and Devlin Hodges at quarterback. And I know Ben's coming off an injury, off a big elbow injury, but I think that him with less than full capacity arm is better than both of those quarterbacks that were playing last season. Juju missed 4 games. James Conner missed 6. If these weapons on offense can stay healthy and Deontay Johnson can keep being that great route runner and like speed guy, they can have a probably top 12 offense like they were so accustomed to doing before the past 2 years.
He's 38
I
years
think
old. He's fat.
He
And he's hurt. They're not having a top 12 offense.
And then the Steelers defense, I mean, it's just great. It was top 5 last year. It should be top 5 again. I just think there's no reason that they can't be solid. It just kind of depends on Ben, but if he's healthy and he's playing well like he should be and has for the past 10 years, they should be a good team.
Yeah, I agree. As a Ravens fan, I had them at 10-6 or 11-5, whatever it was.
That's what I had him
yeah,
at,
so I mean,
around there.
I think people are sleeping on them too. Not really expecting much from last year.
My bust team is the Rams. And I don't know if a lot of people are like thinking I think a lot of people are thinking the Rams will be around the like mediocre range. I just think they're going to be kind of, worse than that. Like less than 7 wins, less than 6 maybe. Jared Goff's making top 5 quarterback money, and he's probably like a bottom 10 quarterback. Their running game is going to suffer because Todd Gurley was very good 2 years ago, but now they have Darrell Henderson and Cam Akers, which neither one of them are proven or like really all that great for that offense. Their offensive line isn't very good. Their defense, I mean, they have stars on defense. They have Donald, they have Jalen Ramsey, John Johnson, but they just haven't been able to put together like a top 5 defense season with all those players. So I just don't think that they can be as successful as some people think they might be.
Yeah, this could be a case of like the opposite of a coach being on the hot seat. The coach wants to get out of there after this season. I think McVay's a great coach, but their roster's not looking too hot going into next season.
And they're, especially because of their lack of assets, because they traded 2 first-round picks for Jalen Ramsey, and they won't have any money. They're not going to have any picks. It's just going to be like the same roster. And if they can't improve within the roster, like they can't get better chemistry and just perform better on the field within their own roster right now, then they're just not going to be able to improve.
Yeah, they don't have Cooks. They don't have Gurley. They don't have some of these key offensive pieces.
The Rams are going to be a good team to look back on in a couple of years and just see how everything panned out for them.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting with their picks. Yeah.
Minutes before starting this episode, the news broke that Patrick Mahomes has agreed on a 10-year deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. And Jet, you have the contract info?
Yeah, so if you combine the 2 years left on his contract with the 10-year extension, the lowest this deal could be worth is $427.6 million.
That's insane.
Which is $1 million more than Mike Trout's record-setting contract from a few months ago.
And that's 12 years?
Yes, 12 years.
And 427. All right.
At minimum.
Yeah, that's 35.5 a year. Or 35.6.
I think it could even push 450.
Well, yeah, that's the minimum too. So 35.6.
I think it could push like 500.
That's insane.
I don't know. I guess my initial reaction to this contract was that he ain't Brady. Like Brady was taking money, like less money, to make sure that they could get pieces around him. Mahomes is taking a lot of money here, which is going to have some backlash, I think.
I'm fine with that. Big trust.
I'm sure he's fine with that too.
Yes, sir.
If he's like wanting his money so badly, but Chris Jones is 1,000,000% he's gone. I mean,
Pick
I
him
think
up,
they're
Baltimore.
going to try to keep.
Pick him
They're
up.
going to try to keep Tyreek Hill, like Tyrann Mathieu. I don't know what his contract's looking like, but if it's like too expensive, they might just let him write out his contract and then
That's crazy.
This almost solidifies them as
let him go.
This almost solidifies them as a passing team for the next 12 years. Because how would they ever pay a running back? Like if Clyde Edwards pops, they're not going to be able to pay him. No way.
Oh, true.
They're going to regret passing on Swift. Just saying.
Dang, man.
You love Swift.
Yeah, bro. Like he should have been the first guy taken.
All right, Adrian, let's get your thoughts on the Mahomes deal with the Chiefs.
It's well deserved. Obviously, he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now, and I don't see any decline. 2 years, he has an MVP in one season and a Super Bowl in another. He's promising, well deserving, but there are negatives. I think because of this, you are going to see Chris Jones on another team. That's going to be hard to retain other big names, like whoever they have coming up in free agency. And also,
Kelsey.
this is gonna make a big impact on other teams as well, like the Cowboys. Like now that Mahomes has his contract set at whatever it is, now it's gonna see if Dak's gonna ask for his raising price or it's gonna pan out weird. We're gonna see how it all works out for around the league.
All right, that's going to do it for episode 2. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on YouTube, make sure you leave a thumbs up, and see you next time.